Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about a scenario in which the New York Jets could trade up back into the first round for a wide receiver. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. You can call in with this number, leave a message, and I'll answer it on the show. So I got this idea last night on the live stream that we do every single Tuesday. Check it out on Jets Talk 24/7's channel. A question was brought up about the Jets moving back up to take a wide receiver, and I thought this was really interesting. And I know Ryan is coming out with his mock draft later on today, so I don't want to spoil anything, but it's definitely something you're going to want to tune in for. And he mentions trading back into the first round. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than what he does. So, I mean, obviously, still check out all his work. I just didn't want it to look like I'm copying his idea or anything like that. This is just totally something that we talked about on the show, and I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on. So to me, it's still pretty obvious that the New York Jets have to take the best offensive tackle available at 11. Fant is an okay signing. I think he's better suited on the right side. Udoga, I think, is better suited as a backup, so you would still need an offensive tackle, whether it's Wills, Wirfs, Thomas, or Becton. One of those four guys should be the pick at 11. But it's also important to know the New York Jets desperately need help at the wide receiver position, and where they sit at 48, there's no guarantee that some of the guys that we expect to be there are going to be there, so it might be in the Jets' best interest to move up. A team that I think the New York Jets could move up with is the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they have two first-round picks. They are picking 13th overall and 31st. But they don't pick again after that until the fifth round. So clearly they need to acquire some more draft capital, and moving one of those picks, preferably for them the later pick, would make a ton of sense. So using some draft capital calculators and stuff like that, I figured out what I thought would be a fair trade offer to get pick number 31 for the New York Jets, which is the Jets' second round pick, 48th overall, and the Jets' third round pick, which is 79th overall. And that should be enough to get the New York Jets back into the first round to take a wide receiver. That would give the 49ers a pick in round 1, 2, 3, 2 in round 5, 1 in round 6, and 1 in round 7, where the New York Jets would have 2 firsts, a third, a fourth, fifth, and 2 sixths, which I think is the preferred way to go. I mean, yes, I would like to have multiple third round picks, but if you're telling me I could move up and get a first round talent in the wide receiver position, I'm for that idea as well. So I'm going to talk about 3 guys who I think could be there for the New York Jets in order to take. And the first is Brandon Aiyuk from Arizona State. He is 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's good against man coverage. They call him the Yak God. He's really good at yard after the catch, so he's getting the ball and then doing a lot with it in space. And he has a good mix of both size and speed. Is he the most perfect prospect and my favorite of this bunch? Probably not, but if you could trade up for a talent like that and pair him with a Perryman on the outside, that's a little intriguing to me. Next guy who I think could potentially be there that the Jets could trade up for is Laviska Shenault, who is 6'1", 227 pounds from Colorado. He's very physical. He has really good ball skills. He can play all 3 wide receiver positions because he did it at Colorado, so he could play inside in the slot, either the 2 outside wide receiver positions. He's very versatile, which I think is intriguing. He probably needs a little bit of work on route running, which I think no prospect outside of Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb are going to be looked at as perfect wide receiver prospects. And even them, I mean, if you overvaluate what they're doing, you could probably find some flaws in their game. But I would say route running is one of the things that he needs to work on. And one cause of concern is injuries. He has been banged up a little bit over the last couple of years, so that might be a red flag. But Laviska Shenault, I think, is definitely someone who the Jets should be interested in if they're able to move back up into the first round to get a wide receiver. And the last guy who is on my list that I really like a lot is Denzel Mims. He is 6'3", 207 pounds from Baylor. He has a great catch radius. He's a big red zone threat with that size. I mean, 6'3", over 200 pounds. He has good speed for his size, which, again, we talk about a lot on that show. And from Joe Douglas, I mean, he said it seemingly a million times, speed kills. So getting more speed on this team definitely seems like something that I would be interested in, and Joe Douglas is interested in. Obviously, Henry Ruggs is the king of the speed, but he has a little bit more size, Mims that is, than Henry Ruggs does. In terms of flaws, he could probably use a little bit more work in the route running as well. Again, these are first round talents, yes, but they are not top half first round talents, so you are going to potentially find flaws in their game. I prefer either Mims or Chenault in that spot. To me, Ayuk is more of a second rounder, but I'm not 100% sure he's going to be on the board at 48. So if the New York Jets want to ensure that they are getting one of the better wide receivers in this class, they should package their second and their second, third round pick, move back up into the first, and take a wide receiver. Yes, I would like Justin Jefferson, but I can't see how he's possibly past 21 when the Eagles are picking. I don't see a way in which he is there for when the Jets are picking. I think the 4 wide receivers are likely going to be off the board by that point, even maybe 5. And those guys are going to be obviously Judy, CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs, and I think Justin Jefferson's the 4th wide receiver off the board. And I would be very, very surprised if he was there for the New York Jets. So that's why I did not include him on my list, even though I really like him as a prospect. But I would be fine with Ayuk, Mims, and Chenault. Either one of those 3 guys I think would be an intriguing option for the New York Jets. I think they should go with a bigger wide receiver at that point and pair them with Perryman, who's more the speed guy, and then you have Crowder in the slot. Basically, the most important thing from this draft is getting weapons for Sam Darnold and protecting him. Overcompensate on the offensive side of the ball. Don't worry so much about defense. You had a top 10 unit last year in terms of DVOA. You're getting CJ Mosley back. You upgraded at the cornerback position. It's time to worry about the offense. Let me know what you think down below. If you would be interested in moving back up into the first round to get a wide receiver, you can add me on social media as well. And of course, if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.